Welcome to Rebel Chaser. My name is Gail, and I've got a video for you from Judge McNally. And this is interesting. This is a constitutional issue that he's tackling, so I'll let you guys watch.
David Benjamin Yak, 24F416195. Good morning, Lieutenant. How are you? Your name?
Good morning, Your Honor. Detective Lieutenant Chris Rembez, City of Flat Rock Police Department.
Raise your right hand. Solemnly swear or affirm under penalties of perjury the testimony you'll give in these proceedings will be the whole truth, so help you God.
I do.
You know, on these misdemeanors, I'm not sure why they're doing signing on records, a 90-day misdemeanor. I'm okay. I don't know. I don't have a problem with you signing under oath down the hall. I mean, I keep getting these. It's okay if that's what you want to do. I'm fine with this, but I'm just telling you for future reference, you can do that, okay? Domestic is different. Illegal entry, 90-day without owner's permission, different. Go ahead.
All right. Your Honor, on March 21st, 2024 at approximately 9 a.m., Officer McLaughlin of the Flat Rock Police Department met with victims David McGee Jr. and Adriana McGee in the Flat Rock Police Department front lobby. David McGee Jr. stated he was speaking with the tax assessor, David Yak. David McGee Jr. stated when speaking to Yak, he asked about how the assessment was performed at his residence, which was listed as Arsenal Road, Flat Rock, Michigan, County of Wayne. At that time, David McGee Jr. questioned Yak about the area of the residence that he entered. Yak stated he went inside the garage, which is connected to the residence. Yak then proceeded to mention parts of the residence he would only be able to notice if he was physically inside the garage and the basement below, including a wet bar, bathroom, and a multi-purpose room. Yak also mentioned he went inside the garage and up the stairs, where the upstairs had drywall and molding. David McGee Jr. stated his son does online schooling with the Flat Rock schools. David McGee Jr. stated his 17-year-old son would have been home when Yak was inside the residence. Both David McGee Jr. and Adriana McGee were both afraid of Yak entering the residence with their son home. McLaughlin went to the residence at approximately 7 p.m. and spoke with David McGee Jr. and Adriana McGee. McLaughlin went through the residence with David McGee Jr., who showed McLaughlin all of the rooms Yak entered and had measurements of. Yak would not have been able to perform the measurements of the interior rooms which had no windows. Yak also mentioned to David McGee Jr. of the basement underneath the pre-existing garage. David McGee Jr. asked Yak how he would know of the basement underneath the garage due to there being no windows. This area is below the pre-existing garage and has direct access to the residence. Yak told Adriana that he is authorized to go into new construction. Adriana then advised Yak and McLaughlin that does not apply when the residence is occupied and has a C of O. Yak entered the Flat Rock Police Department approximately 15 minutes after David McGee Jr. and Adriana left. McLaughlin asked Yak how he performed the assessment. Yak stated no one answered the front door to the residence, so he continued to perform the assessment. Yak then stated he is a state assessor, so he has the right to go onto a property as it is considered an easement. Yak stated he completed his measurements he needed and then proceeded into the new garage. Yak then proceeded to the second level of the garage, then proceeded and checked the basement underneath the detached garage. McLaughlin confirmed with Yak he entered the garage. Yak stated, quote, "I did." Yak stated his understanding of the law is that he has the right to enter property. McLaughlin reiterated to open doors and enter someone's property, which Yak responded, quote, "Yup." On 6/3 of 2024, I spoke with the victim and the complainant, David John McGee Jr. David stated he still wished to proceed with the case, and since the time of this report, David Yak had contact with him, continuing to tell him that he will proceed onto his property whenever and however he wants, with or without notice. On December 12th of this year, 2024, David McGee contacted me and informed me that he had met with the new City of Flat Rock assessor, Chris Hinkle. David asked the assessor if he knew of the specific date and time in which Yak was at his residence on Arsenal Road, and thus the specific date of the incident. Mr. Hinkle looked into the computer system for the City of Flat Rock and noticed David McGee completed the assessment, and the incident was confirmed to have occurred on September 18th of 2023. Based upon the victim's statements, the admissions made by the suspect, and the officer's investigation, I forwarded this case to the Wayne County Prosecutor's Office for review in the loan charge, which you now see in front of you.
Where in the world is Riga, R-I-G-A, Michigan? Do you have any idea?
No idea, Your Honor. I've heard of it, but no idea.
All right. Based on your sworn testimony, I'll find the crime of illegal entry without permission was committed. There's probable cause to believe the crime was committed by the defendant. Lisa, I'm just going to I'm going to issue the warrant. I'm not going to require an interim bond. Why don't you just go ahead and set this for arraignment and pretrial? And seems like this should have been done with a summons instead of a warrant. Why is the prosecutor's office doing this with a warrant as opposed to a summons? Can you tell me?
I cannot, Your Honor. I just had another misdemeanor case which was signed off, and it was the same way. There wasn't a complaint attached. It was just the warrant. I'm not sure. I know if we do a case locally and not through the state, we're doing the complaint, warrant, and summons, but I don't know.
Well, okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to require an interim bond in the amount of $100. And, but you can, I'll talk to you about this one later, Lisa, okay? Don't let me forget. And maybe your office, maybe the police department can try to get a hold of the defendant, tell him to surrender himself, okay?
Will do, Your Honor. Thank you. You and your staff have a good holiday if I don't see you.
You too. Merry Christmas. Wait a minute.
Merry Christmas.
I need that. And,
Well, the first thing, the Fourth Amendment is there to protect people from arrogant government workers like this man. Because he cannot just walk into somebody's house anytime he feels like it, without notice, without them allowing him in. Even if a door is unlocked, no, you're not allowed to cross that threshold without either a warrant or an invite, unless there's an emergency going on inside the home and you can see it. But, you know, tax assessing is not an emergency. So he's allegedly in the wrong doing that. Hopefully he is not continuing to do that, because sooner or later he's going to come out of the situation more like Swiss cheese. And that's very dangerous. Luckily he didn't startle the homeowner. He's very, very lucky that he didn't do that. And his arrogance has given him a court case now that he's got to deal with. He may or may not remain in his job. I don't know. And the homeowner can now sue him. He's personally liable because he violated their Fourth Amendment rights. So, you know, there's a lot of implications here that this guy just isn't even thinking about. Obviously. Allegedly. Obviously, allegedly. But anyway, I will keep an eye on this. I really want to see him come before the judge, because I'd really like to hear his side of the story. Because so far we only have the homeowners. I'd really like to hear what he says. That'd be interesting. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I thought it was a very important constitutional issue to show, even though it's very different from my channel, but I think it is a very important constitutional issue. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.